Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Karen and welcome to our Irish family. So today I want to do a trying to conceive update for you. So let's see, when I left you off last time I was just explaining that IUI 1 didn't work, so we were moving on to a second IUI, and I had done my baseline ultrasound, picked up my medication, and I was due to start it on cycle day 3. Maybe that has already happened. Yeah, I was due to start it on cycle day 3. So that's exactly what I have done. So I started it on cycle day 3. I took 62.5 IUs of Gonal-F from cycle day 3, and I went back to the clinic on the 5th of March for my first follicle check. So I would have been taking Gonal-F 6 times by then, and so 6 days of the 62.5 IUs of my injection I had taken, and I went for a follicle check, and nothing major was happening, which is different from the last cycle, because when I went the last cycle I already had a big dominant follicle. But on the 5th of March, Tuesday the 5th of March, I had on my right side one follicle at 10 millimeters, and on my left side I had one follicle at 13 millimeters. So they advised that I go away and I come back on the 8th, Friday the 8th of March. So that is what I done. I went there this morning, and when I got there, so at this stage I've been taking it for I've taken 9 days of Gonal-F. So they scanned me, and I don't think I've mentioned this, but I have a very hard to find left ovary. It's high and posterior, and it takes them a long time and lots of maneuvering and a good amount of discomfort for them to find my left ovary. So my right ovary wasn't showing any dominant follicles. There was no big follicle there. So they were searching for my left ovary. Eventually they found it. In fact, another nurse had to come in and apply a lot of pressure, and they found my left ovary. And I had one follicle there that was 19 millimeters. So they were very happy with that. They said that this is perfect. So basically they advised me to go home and give myself a steroid injection into my leg. Now I think that's what it's called. I'll just get it and I'll show you what it is. So this is the one they've advised me to take today and tomorrow. So basically, if you remember back to my video at the start of my IUI a couple of weeks ago, I said that basically cetrotide is to stop the follicle from ovulating itself. So this is what you take this for. It's just basically that 19 millimeter follicle is just about to go. It can go on its own, and we don't want that to happen before I go in for my IUI. So this is why they want me to take this, and inside this, I'll just open it and show you guys. So my Gonal-F pen just has like a small little needle, like teeny tiny, but inside this there is bigger needles, so it's kind of hard to see because I don't want to take it out of the packet until I have to use it. So in the needle part here there is water, and in this little vial here there is powder. So I need to take this yellow needle, which is really long, I think you can make it out there, and mix them together, and then bring it back up into the needle here. I then need to switch to the grey needle, and the grey needle is here, so it's this long. It's like this long, and I need to put it into my thigh, and that is in the hopes that it stops me from ovulating that follicle on my own. So I need to do one today and I need to do one tomorrow. Then tomorrow night at 12 o'clock midnight, I need to do my trigger shot, which is the overdrill. So that the overdrill is it pumps in the HCG hormone, which is a pregnancy hormone, and that basically makes your ovaries ovulate between 36 to 48 hours after you take your trigger shot. Your ovaries are supposed to release any mature follicles that are in there. And then on Monday, the 11th of March, I go up for my IUI. Yesterday we went for our IUI. So at 9:30 a.m. Robert went in and gave his semen sample, and then we went back at 12:30 for our IUI appointment. It was closer to 1 p.m. by the time that they called us in to get the procedure done. And when I was in the room with her, I kind of expressed some concern that I thought that I had ovulated already. On Saturday, before I did my trigger shot, I had major cramping on my ovaries, and there was even like a tiny little bit of spotting. So I was kind of convinced that it had happened already. She said that, you know, if it happened already, that's okay, or if it's going to happen, it's okay, because the sperm will wait for the egg, or the egg will wait for the sperm. And there's a couple of hours there, like a day, that there's still time for it to for them to come together. So I kind of expressed that I would like, just for my own peace of mind, a scan, just to see whether or not that follicle on my left ovary has gone or not. So she agreed to that. So off we went, myself and Robert, into the procedure room. When we were there, the lady kind of pops out of this hatch and she tells you how the semen sample did up. So when we did our IUI the very first time for baby number 1, we had just about 6 million sperm with 75% motility of them. That was washed. That was after they washed it and put all the good ones back in. So we just under 6 million. That IUI was successful. We now have a 3-year-old, and that was good. The last month, when we did our first IUI for this baby number 2, we had 7 million with 91% of them 91% motility. So 7 million sperm, 91% motility, and that was a bust. That cycle didn't work. So this time around, when she told me yesterday, was Robert had 12.25 million, but she never told us what the motility of it was. So the sperm count was nearly like 80% higher than it was last cycle. And that was his best sample, I think, ever. So I know people have like 137 million or 34 million, like all these kind of like big numbers, but for us 12.25 million is good, like really good. So we were both chuffed with that number. Again, I forgot to ask her what the motility of those was, but she seemed really happy with what was happening. So 12.25, and then she went off to prep that in the catheter to come into my cervix. So while that was happening, I lay on the bed and Yvonne went and searched for my left ovary. Now, I mentioned in my last video, I have a very hard to find left ovary. It's up pretty high and it's kind of posterior as well, so it's tough for them to find. So there was lots of digging around, and you can't, usually they kind of put on some lube, some lubrication on it, but because we were doing the IUI, she couldn't have any lubrication, so all she had was some water. So you know, it was pretty uncomfortable, and I had to have like a full bladder too, because I was doing my IUI, you need a full bladder. So she was digging around. Anyways, eventually we found it, and we could see a humongous follicle, like, and she said at the bottom of it you could see that it was just detaching, so it was about to kind of like erupt. So she said it's all very promising. The 12.25 million clean motile sperm was going to be put in, so we had, it looked like it was going to be a good chance, as good as a chance as you can get. So I was really happy. She also said that I had a really good lining. It was a triple lining. She never measured it, but when they measured it the other day, it was also triple lining on Friday, so they said it looked really, really good. So the lady with the sperm brought back the sample in the catheter, so it was time to get down and do my IUI. So basically they clean the outer area with some water, and then they insert the speculum, get the speculum into place, and then they clean around your cervix and your vaginal area. And she said that at my cervix you could see cervical mucus, the egg white cervical mucus. So she said that the ovulation, like, that's obviously a really good sign of ovulation when you have that egg white cervical mucus. So she said ovulation is definitely approaching soon, so it's great that we're getting in the sample now. So she inserted the catheter and slowly put in the sperm into it, and then she took it out, and there was no spillage. None of it came back out from my cervix from the sample, so that's all really, really good. So that was done, and it gets done pretty quickly. And then I just lay there for 10 minutes just to kind of let the sample settle, as we like to call it, and then got dressed and came home. So this morning, so it's the next day, and today I had some spotting when I wiped, and some again some egg white cervical mucus, which is like the most fertile mucus. So I'm kind of hopeful that either last night or early today that my egg has ovulated, and or the follicle has ovulated, and those sperms are going up to meet that egg and do their thing. So yeah, that is where we're standing. I'll insert my fertility friend chart. There is no rise in temperature or anything, but realistically I'm expecting that to happen tomorrow, because today will be the day I ovulated. So yeah, that's where we are. So yeah, that is everything. I hope that you've enjoyed. If you have any questions, do leave them below. If you're new here, subscribe. I would love to have you a part of our little family here. And that's it. I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.